do? Welcome to the J-Boy Sports Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. If you don't enjoy the content, or usually we say if you don't love it, because you're going to enjoy it. You just might not love it. You'll at least respect it, but you just might not love it. But either way, if you don't love it, you could still do those things because you could help a brother out and a brother would help you out. Make sure that you comment because I love to have conversations in the comment section. I promise you I will reply. And lastly, you want to hit that notification bell. And I lied because there's one more thing that you want to do. But if you don't hit that notification bell, you will miss some of our great videos. Guaranteed. So make sure you hit that notification bell. And the actual last thing that I wanted to say is that if you hang on towards the end of this video, there will be some other suggested videos that we know you'll love. Jumping right into this, Dame is waived. Dame Lillard was waived. They called it stretch. It's a stretch provision. I don't know the details of that, but essentially he was released. Stretched and released. Pause, no Diddy. Which we definitely have to say with more energy because it looks like Mr. Diddy is getting out. So watch yourselves. Hide your kids, hide your wives. Okay? I said wives. There's no such thing as wives. And I don't know a lot of people that have more than one wife. So hide your kids, hide your wife. Diddy's back in these streets. But as far as Dame Lillard is concerned, I called this. I knew this before time. So full disclosure, Giannis is my second favorite player, all right, currently. Now, there was a time when he was my favorite player. But I still have love for Giannis. I still like Giannis. But I still think there's something missing there that he's got to get. I don't know if his passion has been the same for basketball the last few years. And I mean this respectfully because I know he looks like he's a little salty at Stephen A. Smith for saying that he would be an underachiever if he only had one ring. But I actually agree with Stephen A. Smith. And I know Giannis is on this positive kick where he tries to spin it positively. Like when he loses, he tries to say, I'm not really losing. It's just another step towards success and stuff like that. And to an extent, he's right. But the truth is, if Giannis only wins one, I personally, as a fan of his, would be like, man, you left a lot of meat on the bone, my boy, because you're talented and you won one early. You would only think that you have a whole career to win again, and you would hope that he would do that because he's obviously one of the best players we've ever seen. But currently, my favorite player is SGA, and by extension, I guess the Thunder are my favorite team, but they're not actually my favorite team. I really want to root for the Lakers. But if you watch this channel, you know I'm desperately awaiting the departure of one LeBron James because I can't deal with him, man. I need the antics off my team. But I do really, really like the Thunder. I do like the Thunder, and I really like SGA and his boys and what they've accomplished. But as far as Giannis is concerned, I never thought Damian Lillard going to the Bucks was a good idea. I actually always hated that idea. And you ask why? Why, Jay Boyks? Why did you not like that idea? Damian Lillard is a very good player in one aspect of the game. He is an excellent scorer. He is definitely one of the best point guard scorers we have ever seen. He is an unbelievable shooter. To me, he is definitely a top 10 shooter. Top 5, Steph, Clay, Reggie, Ray Allen, probably Steph, Ray Allen, Reggie, Clay, if I'm putting them in order. And then is Dame after that? Maybe. But he's elite at shooting and scoring. He is. But when did that ever win championships? When did scoring ever win championships? I've never seen the best scorer in the league win without playing any defense. So I think I caught you guys there for a second. You go like, I've seen the best scorer in the league win a championship. Yes, but not without playing defense. And if you're talking about Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, the anomaly. In my book, you're talking about two of the greatest players of all time, by far. And then a lot of other people are just not even in that conversation. But it's not a coincidence that they both also played immaculate defense. You got to do it on both sides of the court, but especially if you're not playing any defense, you're not going to win any games, man. And Dame Lillard, don't play defense. He doesn't hustle for loose balls. He doesn't play great defense. He's not tough at the point of attack when they're attacking him. I would pick on him on defense if I'm the opposing coach and the opposing team. And they do. He allows people that are nowhere near as good as him to just go off. All the times they played the Pacers, and yes, he did get hurt, so that messed up, what was going on there. But either way, Tyrese Halliburton was going to have a daggone field day. Because is Tyrese the scorer that Dame is? No. But what Tyrese does is he gets his team going. He's the battery in the back of all of his teammates, as we've seen, until he got hurt. Dame's not getting anybody else going. Dame's only getting himself going. He's not getting a bunch of easy buckets for Giannis. That's not happening. So then what are you left with? You're just left with a scorer who sometimes can or can't score, depending on if his jumper is going, in that system. And then he's not making anybody better. He's not having a lot of assists. He's not an elite passer for a point guard, not at all. He doesn't really run your offense. Can't use him for that. He's not a great defender at all. He's not hustling for loose balls. He's not an overly high IQ player that just makes smart plays that automatically make you win. That's not the case. I get it. He hit a bomb against Paul George back in, 2021, 2020, 2019. When was that? I don't remember. I don't know. But even that wasn't, a great shot. But he hit it because Dame can make big shots. I'll give him that. But if he's not scoring, he's not doing anything. I've literally watched Dame when he was on the Blazers, when they played the Pelicans. At the time, AD was still on the Pelicans, and they had, I don't know if they had Boogie Cousins and he got hurt or whatever, but they had a good team. They had him, they had Rondo, they had Drew Holiday, they had Anthony Davis, and I think Boogie went down before the series started, and the Pelicans beat the brakes off of them. They shut CJ and Dame down. CJ used to be on there too, if you're not familiar. CJ McCollum, who's also a really good shooter. But it suffers from the same thing that Damian Lillard suffers from. They're just scorers. Dame is a little bit better of a scorer. Dame's elite. CJ's a little under that. But that's all they do. If they're not scoring, they're not helping you win. There's literally nothing else that they're doing. Now back to focusing on Dame, he's not doing anything else. That's all he's doing. Now I like Dame. As a player, I like Dame's game just from a scoring standpoint. And I like Dame as a person. I think he's a good person. I like that he cares about his kids. You know what I mean? And I like listening to him talk. I actually think Dame is a good dude. So I'm not taking this shot at Dame as a person. But I challenge you, Dame, when you come back. Is there more to your game than you've showed us? Because what I saw in the Bucks is exactly what I feared. When they gave up Holiday, I was like, this is such a stupid trade, man. Drew Holiday is a great defender. He makes all the plays that are needed to win. He can score enough. He's better at getting his teammates involved and making them better. At least he puts the battery in their back on defense. And he moves the ball well on offense. That's another thing Dame doesn't do excellent. He's not really moving the ball great. Dame is Steph if Steph didn't move a lot and try hard on defense and just overall. What is Steph without the movement? Dame. So Steph goes from being one of the hardest players I've ever seen to guard because of all the action he creates on the floor with his shooting ability and his unstoppable, nonstop movement. He goes from that to Dame Lillard, which gets waived because he's expendable, because he's not helping the Bucks go anywhere. So, you guys tell me, what do you think? Do you think I'm being harsh on Dame? Do you think I'm telling the truth? I always thought, and I hope Dame finds another team. I hope he gets well soon. I was sad to see him get injured. You never want to see that in a player, especially when you think he's a good guy. So I'm not saying this. I don't have any animosity towards Dame. I'm just keeping it real. I knew the Bucks weren't going anywhere with him on their team. I knew that. To play with Giannis, you can't just be focused on scoring, man. It's not gonna work. You got to do the way Giannis plays so hard. You got to play the game all the way around because you're not gonna get 80 shots a game most of the time. And if you are, firing away threes, unless you're Steph, it doesn't really work that way. You got to play Giannis. They build teams around Giannis that live on defense. So if you're not playing defense, you're a liability for Giannis. If you're getting blown by, now Giannis has to get out of position and whoever else is back there. So while I like Dame overall, and I do appreciate Dame's game, and sometimes it's nice to watch, he's got a lot more to do to be a winner. And I never really saw Dame as a winner. And he's one of the few anomalies that can make big shots and has made big shots, and I would say is a clutch player. But he's not necessarily a winner. And that's rare, where you find somebody that's clutch that I wouldn't call a winner. And I wouldn't call Dame a winner. But I would call him clutch. You know, to me, he doesn't do enough to make his teams win. There's been times where I thought he had decent teams, and there's something missing there where he can't take them over the hump. Where he might get out of the first round with some crazy clutch shots, but in the second round, he runs into something and he just can't beat it. He can't get around it. He doesn't, and I specifically saw that when I used to see him play the Warriors. When I saw him play against Holiday and Rondo, just locked him up, man. Completely. And he had nothing else to go to. He couldn't get his teammates involved. He just fell apart. And so for me, in order for Dame to really get out of that moniker for me of a guy that's just not really an overall winner, doesn't bring a lot to the team, I'm going to need to see something different. And I know he's 34 coming off of Achilles, so if he wasn't doing it before, you know, it might be a lot harder to do it now, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Prayers up for him and recovering from his injury. Like I said, I think he's a good dude, but if he doesn't make some changes, it's just going to be same old, same old. So thank you very much for listening to this video, this episode of the J-Boy Sports Podcast. What do you think? Do you think I'm being hard on Dame? Do you think Dame can make improvements? Do you think Dame's a winner and I'm just talking out of my behind? Let me know. Meet me in the comments section. Have a conversation. I will definitely reply. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our glorious content. Hang on towards the end of this video so you can catch some suggested videos that we know you'll love. I truly appreciate you listening this long. I'm very thankful for you. I'm very appreciative. Very humble. Much love. That somehow you never get